Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is the Piracy Show. And this is where the drug lab is. So I've worked out a basic rough set of coordinates, though. It seems that the mission to go pick up from this location is up fairly frequently. Now, if I remember correctly, there is another one on Chelon, but possibly one on Daymar as well, but obviously, some missions appear and disappear, I guess, as they kind of pull them back and say, okay, we need to work on this a little bit more, or this needs a little bit of a fix, and then maybe they make it back into the rotation. I don't know what the exact system there is, but this is where you find the drug lab. Now, this is the view from approximately the southern pole, looking northwards. It is on the same side of the planet as the Nakamura base, which is actually just over the horizon. I believe it's called, Nakamura Valley Emergency Shelter. So just over the valley, that way is the emergency shelter. Once again, this is facing from the South Pole, heading north, well, not quite the South Pole, but heading north towards the equator. This formation, this black band of ground is normal. This is the way it always is. And then, of course, you have it cross the other direction, almost like a crossbones, with this rougher formation coming from northwest to southeast. And of course, that's towards the southern pole right there. So we're coming in on a bit of an angle. So to make it a little bit easier, I kind of grabbed this still so you can just kind of pause the video here if you want, if you're looking for it. But once again, starting from the the southern polar region, heading north, directly north over the planet, you're going to start to see this formation as you move up. Nakamura Valley will be slightly off to your left, facing this way just a little bit, maybe 15 degrees. Be nice if we had some measuring tools on the HUD, just saying. So yeah, Nakamura is going to be just off to your left. Now the distances once you get to this location to these beacons are OM4 is 350. Nakamura is 311. Benson Mining is 414. Deacons is 600. R-Corp is 521. Now, of course, this is on the same side as Nakamura, whereas the other ones seem to be more around the dark side of the planet, though Nakamura is slightly over the horizon to the north. So it seems to be pretty much off on its own, as you would probably expect for a drug lab. Not quite in the center of town. But if you're still confused or you're having trouble finding it, the mission is fairly frequent, so it's not that hard to find. And hopefully in the future, we'll get a bookmark or coordinate system that we can work with. Also, this is me landing. I know the Canadian Will was commenting on me leaving my engines off instead of, leaving them on in case I have to make a quick getaway. True, but honestly, as you can see, in these low gravity moons, the ships kind of want to try to take off on their own. And there have been probably more than a few people who have noted that, sometimes you come back to your ship after dropping something off or picking something up, and your ship is at a 90-degree tilt. So it's just, some places like Daymar, it's okay, but here on Yela, it's better to just go ahead and just shut the engines off. And yes, I am closing my doors now. I am closing my doors. But here we go. We're back again. We've used the mission once again to locate this place, which is kind of what I recommend doing until we get a proper coordinates and bookmark system. Then life should be a lot easier. But this does raise an interesting question right here, because as you're going to see, I'm once again buying the stuff, but there's only a very limited supply. My limitation is not the amount of money I have to buy. My limitation is the amount that's on the market here. So I guess there's a certain kind of production rate that I am not aware of. And I thought about kind of camping out here and checking things out and seeing how long before it respawns. But then I thought, probably not a good idea to hang around. Probably, hopefully in the future, once we get some proper coordinates and whatnot, we can locate a few of these and then kind of hit them all up, scoop up all the goodies, and then take them to market to sell. Which is where I kind of ran into some issues. But, by the way, I do love the fact, CIG, seriously, I love the fact that these are mislabeled medical supplies. That's awesome. So here we are, we're returning to Grim Hex, and we're going to sell off what we've just purchased. But, you know, being in this situation and finding these things, it does raise some interesting questions. You know, not that long ago, CIG was selling the Pioneer. Now, one of the big limitations on this, of course, is the amount of stock that you can go pick up and sell. And of course, going into the future, you're going to probably run into issues where, you know, when you go to pick this stuff up, there might be other people there, especially now that I'm making videos about it. So, you know, you might run into your friendly competition or unfriendly competition, as it were. And there is, frankly, quite a limited supply. I mean, not even really enough to fill a Cutlass. So perhaps with the Pioneer, you could set up your own processing facility, perhaps something that appears to be something else, like something completely innocent, like a baby bottle stuffed animal or AK-47 factory, something that no one would think anything untoward is going on within. And so once you have that all set up, then you could bring in whatever innocent chemicals you need to bring in and then bring out the product, you know, in a way kind of cutting out that whole, you know, that whole risk where you're having to go to the place to buy the stuff to then go and sell it on, because who knows, in the future people might be waiting for you there, they might be looking to EMP you, and so you have to be kind of careful about this stuff. You know, there could be people just sitting there just scoping you out while you go in and then just looking to take off with your ship and then sell your stuff in the future. So having a Pioneer available might allow you to build your own facility and take that risk out of the equation. But here we are, we're getting to the point of making money. Now, once again, we are seeing the same profit margins as we saw before. And the first sale goes off well. The problem comes with the second sale. It seems like it's going off, but it really isn't. And this problem persists on every interface panel in the station. So I now have all this Widow, approximately, what, 40 grand worth? And I can't sell it. So I decide to take it to Port Olisar and see what it's worth there. So I head over to the landing pad, line myself up as neatly as possible with the pad that I've been assigned. There we go. Oh, just a little too far maybe? No? Auto land? Yep, here we go. Here we go. Auto landing. No problem. All the other landing pads are clear, right? They're all... Wait, what? Why is my ship not landing? What's going on? So I try turning the engine off. Oh, look. Out of all the pads they've given me, someone has ditched an Aurora MR on one of the landing pads. And, of course, the occupied landing pad is the pad that they're giving me. I wonder if this game isn't seeing a little bit of performance degradation the longer these servers are kind of kept running. Or is it just, you know, the fact that the game probably just needs, like, a bit of a refresh before we keep playing anymore. Because it seems that these bugs are... There seems to be certain bugs that are accumulating over time. So... I'm just going to go ahead and try to scoot onto my part of the landing pad because, you know, I kind of have a hold full of space cocaine, so I don't really want to attract a crime stat rating right now. You know, it's kind of a bad idea when you've got a trunk full of dope to, you know, go bumping into cop cars. I consider it kind of a faux pas. Sadly, Olisar, unfortunately, doesn't seem to want to purchase my space cocaine. It knows that there's something in there, but it's like, yeah, we ain't having nothing to do with anything like that. So now I have a bit of a problem. Now I end up going to Levski, but then I face this bizarre catch-22 where it's like I can land my ship inside the hangar bay, but I can't get out of the hangar bay because the elevator never shows up. You can push the button 50 times, it never comes. Or I can land my ship in the courtyard and then walk in to where I can interact with the commerce panels. The problem is it no longer recognizes that I have a ship there. Now I could leave the ship there, and then I could log out, and then I could log back in, and I could fly another ship down to Levski, and then it would probably be stored at Levski, and then I could interact with it again and maybe sell off the space cocaine there. But then again, maybe not. So I kind of figured, you know what? Probably better to wait, relog, leave the ship at Olisar, relog on, hop in, and then hopefully fly it directly down to Grimhex, be able to sell this stuff, and then hopefully those missions are up again and I can find a few more of those drug labs in the future. And you know, now that I'm doing this stuff, I'm probably going to have to avoid using the light armor and maybe move up to something a little bit heavier in the future. But anyways, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.